Well, that's okay.
Yeah, no worries.
Right, well, good morning. Thank you very much for having us to explain all this, and to everyone who's viewing the video as well. So we've handed out our campaign proposal in a printed out form to you, and like I said, we'll email it. It's got all the finer details in it, but we just kind of want to go through that and explain what we mean by everything. So we've compiled, it's comprehensive, it's cost-effective PR strategy, which is tailored to what we believe will help Mountain people reach new levels of popularity. So it's a 4-month strategy that we've come up with. Again, we're providing materials to go beyond that date. It's going to run continuously for the remaining year of your project. It's designed to attract both new volunteers and corporate sponsors, and also celebrate the work that's been completed in the last 4 years.
So we thought we would start off by doing a SWOT analysis, which if you don't know, I'm sure you do anyway, is analysis of your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities and threats. Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, this is it. So the project is in its 4th year, which is an obvious strength for us because you've completed so much work already. So this meant it was really easy for us to come up, will be really easy for us to come up with stories for the people that work with the project already. So it's had it also has impressive collaborative partners, which we thought was really good strength as well. A passionate and permanent workforce like you guys, and the subcommittee members too. And also we thought that your website was it looked really good, and your brand is brilliant as well. So that makes it really easy to come up with ideas with it, I think, to work in tandem with it. So obvious weaknesses, we did a survey of all the mountaineering societies and the universities in Scotland, and we found that brand awareness was extremely low. Only 2% of the student mountaineers that we surveyed had heard of the mountains and the people. We thought that was really important because these are people who already have an interest in the mountain. So we wanted to make sure that we could engage with those people because you said that to us. So social media following, as has been mentioned, is limited, and the activity needs to be more focused, we felt too. The campaign doesn't have some of the the appeal of some of the other traditional nature charities, so we need to think about ways to make it more appealing to people. How do we frame the We Build Paths idea? So it's also, when we did the survey, some people were a bit confused, even though we gave them a description of what he did about what the paths are for and what volunteering entails. So we wanted to try and make it really clear for students. So opportunities, we thought we have a student population across Scotland that is massive. It's also extremely interested in the campaign. As we mentioned, we did that survey. 82% of the people that we surveyed actually said they'd be interested in volunteer. I think we got 20 emails for you as well, people who actually asked to volunteer as well. So that's good going forward. So the people who worked in the campaign have really interested in various stories as well. So that means it's really easy for us to utilise them to make these profiles. Social media presence can easily be enhanced. There's just a couple little tweaks, and I think it would be a really strong because what you do, there's loads of scenery and amazing pictures you can take, it would make it really strong. And the project is approaching this year, so it does have the opportunity for us to go out on a high, for us really to finish brilliantly. So again, on the flip side of that, the threat is that because we're going into the final year, we might be running out of time to make sure that the public profile has really improved, but we think with what we came up with it will improve. And again, the benefits of volunteering at the moment, as I mentioned before, were not entirely clear to some people, so we really want to make that clear. I'll pass you on again for the next one.
Right, so I just want to sort of continue in a little bit more detail just about a few of the things that Liam was talking about some of the key issues we could face. So as Liam was saying, the mountains and the people are entering their last year of the project, and we really want to help you go out on a high. That was something that you specified the first time I met you at uni. And this means we want to attract as many volunteers as we feel the project needs, and also the potential for some corporate sponsorship, which is another thing you highlighted as a priority. As well as this, we want to celebrate the amazing work like the people like yourself have done and completed over the 4 years, and more importantly, the people who have done it. So we're going to try and do this by creating attention-grabbing people profiles to celebrate the amazing work done by all those involved in the project. The mountains and the people have had a massive amount of interesting people who've done work for them over the years, and we want to celebrate these people and celebrate the work that they've done, but also use that to help attract new volunteers and also corporate sponsors to possibly be applying. We're going to engage a relatively untapped student market, which Liam was highlighting there, as we feel it's essential in getting more people to volunteer for the charity. So Scotland has, just going on there, has a massive student population. The market is extremely active in society, likes to get involved with noble causes, and especially if they can showcase it on social media, we're all quite good at that. Getting this extremely active social media demographic involved in this, we feel frees up massive potential for free advertising or on social media, which is something we really want to exploit. The charity's public profile does need to be boosted, that's something we've identified. And all that's been accomplished in the last 4 years, we feel deserves the acknowledgement, like we feel it's not quite getting that the praise that it deserves at the moment. It has achieved so much in the 4 years since it started, and the public's knowledge of this is still extremely limited. And we want to get the charity's reputation up to the high we feel it deserves once the project's finished.
Okay, so target audience. Following the market research and the meeting we had the other week, we have decided that the audiences we will be targeting will include students and local people in the community. A primary target audience will be students, as there is a 70,000 strong student population in Glasgow alone and approximately 250,000 students in higher education in Scotland. Within universities there are clubs and societies that relate to mountaineering and climbing and stuff like that, so we can contact these societies and form a relationship with them and with this charity. This will help us connect with people who might not actually know about your brand within the student demographic. Following market research, we identified that this target audience could be a promising consumer of our market. The existing interest in outdoor activity and the state of upland paths could lead to an increase in interest in volunteering and helping in the future. Another one we want to target is people in the age range of 40 to 65 years old who enjoy the outdoors and want to meet people with similar interests. This generation are proactive and like to spend their spare time making differences in societies and communities and stuff like that, so this makes them a huge area that we want to target to do some voluntary work in the campaign. Also getting locals involved and local businesses who live and operate in surrounding areas of the national parks is also on our agenda. This can make a huge impact on the reputation and recognition of the work that you implement. Locals tend to want to be aware and help with activities in their own community, and therefore by getting local businesses involved it can work together with them and potentially extend both companies onto a larger platform. We wish to also target audiences through consistent social media content and regular communication on what the charity has done. Plans to do and still to do are going to be aims of this social media campaign. This will be completed via Twitter, Facebook, in particular mountaineering groups, societies again, groups like that, Instagram as well, with obviously pictures and things like that, and also lives and things. We also want to create video and precise advertising content that can be posted around different areas of social networking platforms.
Okay, so we'll start talking you through a couple of the aims and the objectives and the raw numbers. So the brief that you guys supplied to us and when we met with you, it's really thorough and it has helped us develop aims and objectives that we hope we can achieve and are deliverable in our marketing and PR campaign. So each target that was given to us in your initial communication, we've analysed it, we've formulated ways that we can achieve these aims in the best way possible. We've come up with aims that we wish to achieve in this campaign and objectives also on how we plan on accomplishing these aims. So I'll talk you through some of them. One of our aims is to attract more volunteers to complete work for the mountains and the people. So we'd like to see an increase in the number of people who volunteer for this project, so would you obviously. We want to see an immediate increase as our campaign begins to take shape. Following the results from our survey, we feel looking around the 20% increase is realistic and achievable in the 4 months that we're with you, and we hope to achieve this by the end of the campaign after that as well. The mountains and the people, we can help you strive forward and deliver a successful year project. Like I said, going out on a high, having as many volunteers as you can need in that project is really important to us. And like Liam said, we've already managed to acquire email addresses of 20 or so folk who said they'd be interested already, so we'll pass that on to you. We'd also like to create a stronger public profile of the mountains and the people and the work that the charity has completed in the past 4 years. So to do that, we hope to sort of achieve this by creating several path profiles, as you've mentioned to us before, for the paths that have undergone the work. We feel helping people to familiarise people with the paths that they're walking on and the work that's been done to them will help recognise the effort that's gone in by the Mountains of the People, and specifically the people that have done it as well. It's also going to show or act as evidence of the completed work for future funders and any partners that may come on board. In terms of securing a stronger public profile, we want to engage with the local news outlets through press releases, so local news outlets through any of the cities or towns or villages that are bordering the national parks, both of them. We'd like to see at least 6 published articles to maximise the reach and appeal to this demographic that we outlined before. The press releases are going to be specifically designed to celebrate the work that's been completed in order to give people more incentive to complete the voluntary work that you've got on offer, and see the benefits that the work's provided to the local communities around them as well. We can do this through various means. For example, in a published press release, we can give back to volunteers by reminding them that the work has not gone unnoticed. We'd also like to create a clearer PR campaign for the last year of your project that the Mountains of the People can use after the project, our project is finished in February, which will allow your campaign to go out on high. So in order for us to create a PR campaign which will allow the Mountains of the People to go out on high, it has to have enough substance to allow for substantial content to be created over the next year. We'll get on to more of that with our methods in a few minutes' time, but we can achieve this by setting out guidelines and a detailed schedule of ways to produce content after January, after we've left, and you can do this consistently until the end of the project. We will assist in content creation techniques and leave the Mountains and People in a solid position moving forward with different potential marketing tools available that you can use.
So I'm just going to continue on the last 2 ones that we have on the slide here. So another one is we want to showcase the diverse work completed by the charity through approximately 6 dynamic and creative volunteer profiles. So we hope to achieve this aim by creating substantial advertising posters that will show sort of like the diversity of the people involved and what they enjoy about the whole volunteering experience. The profiles will be constructed in the form of an e-poster, which is basically optimised for social media, which will showcase the different positives the Mountains and the People provided for individuals throughout this charitable campaign. And finally, we want to increase the overall awareness of the charity by increasing social media following across all their active social network profiles. So I'm sorry to be a bit boring with stats here, but I think it's important. So we hope to achieve this aim by producing consistent social media posts on Facebook and Instagram in particular. We want to increase the Instagram followers from what it sat at yesterday, which was 152, to what we see as a realistic estimate between 500 and 800 during this campaign. We plan to do this through sponsored advertising as well as help from other charities already involved in with the Mountains and the People. We want to try and get other Scottish accounts who already have a bigger following than yourselves to get involved, reposting pictures, sharing information on their page, and just to help boost the overall brand recognition for you. With Facebook, as it said yesterday, we want to get from what we see as a realistic estimate again of 1.5 thousand likes to 2,000 and upwards. We feel that there is even potential to go higher than that. We believe we can do this, as Becky was talking about earlier, through just overall better content, with videos and live feeds that are going across some different networks as well, and just overall creative and dynamic advertising campaign.
Wonderful. So, for our PR tactics, the first one we came up with was the We Build concept. So, when we were talking to you the other day, you said to us there's only so many ways that we can tell people that we build paths. So, we thought that was kind of a really interesting line. And so we said that it's there's a real strength in trying to highlight what else the project builds for people. So, but what does it build for you at a human level? So Timothy, so our research shows that there is a diverse range of people who are part of the project, from volunteers that are bankers by day to day, so young folk with gaining qualifications, and people actually getting careers out of it as well. So each and every one of these people has built much more than a path. So our campaign will focus on a number of kind of key items. So we build skills, we build friendships, we build confidence, we build relationships, we build careers, we build habitats was the kind of thing instead of we build paths. So it'll create a kind of human interest campaign that will grab the attention of potential volunteers and make great feature articles for relevant publications. So it would probably comprise of 6 posters that we would make, and we would give you the kind of the outlines to make more for yourself as well, and then probably 3 videos that would accompany it as well. So this is a kind of one that we mocked up really quickly the other day. just kind of an idea. This is a picture of your Instagram, and this is a quote that we made up as well. So it would be this kind of idea. So it would be about a real volunteer, and it would just be a kind of snapshot of their time here. But yeah, and it would be kind of really celebratory. It would look really kind of, well, we would hope fun, inviting, and again to have that kind of both encouraging people to want to come, but also celebrating the people that have already done the work before them.
So how far have we come is another one of our tactics. It's going to attract the attention, hopefully, of media outlets by providing some figures about how many paths have been restored and upgraded in the national parks. So we wanted to get a little bit creative with the distances, which will also appeal to the local communities which are mentioned. So for example, 125 kilometres I believe is the amount of paths that you will have upgraded and restored by the end of this project. So that's roughly the distance from Perth to Aberdeen, as the crow flies, Ben Lomond to Ben Nevis, and Aviemore to Perth. Another variation of these statistics would focus on the amount of people who use the paths as well, because this is going to help highlight the importance of the work being done. So this was a complete guesstimate, it's probably well off the real number, but for example, future-proofing Ben Lomond for the next 100,000 footsteps. Our focus would be sending press releases and media packs to online and print specialist magazines, but also local news outlets in the cities which are bordering each of the national parks, which to be honest is all of Scotland's 7 cities. So we, for example, be targeting Radio Clyde in Glasgow, we could target MFR up in Inverness, or Original 106 for radio, and there's many newspapers as well. We'd also like to target some Scottish TV shows, see if we can get a bite for potentially a feature on one of these TV shows, including the Adventure Show and Landward on BBC, and also the People's History Show on STV. Another one of our ideas focusing on our really positive student feedback from our survey, because they were highlighted as a key target market to appeal to, we decided it's important that we isolate the students that are most likely to take part in the project rather than putting content out that's not going to appeal to the people that aren't interested in particular. So in order to do this, we created the survey, we shared it through the most important mountaineering societies in Scotland, the biggest ones that we've got the most response out of.